Let's see this.
Chicago Cubs fans, listen, we got a hell of a show for you today. I have a guest host with me, my good man, Rich Mercer. We are going to be talking all things Chicago Cubs, all things spring training. We got some questions that we want to get answered. And of course, we're going to be talking about each and every one of our favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, baby. Let's do it. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I am your host, Mike Jones. And hey, listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. We did it. We reached 3,000 subscribers. We're actually almost to 3,500 subscribers already. Thank you so much to everybody that has helped in the efforts to get this podcast, move this podcast along and grow this podcast. Thank you. Shout out to everybody on Spotify, everybody on Apple that has been viewing this podcast, that have been commenting below. Leave a 5-star rating on there, as well as all of you that join in on the conversation on YouTube as well as on X. Please, whatever you do, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you follow, make sure that you join in on the conversation. We're talking all things Chicago Cubs, baby, so you know it's a good conversation every single time that we do that. And I am here, y'all, with a special guest host with me today, my good friend Rich Mercer. Rich, how you doing, sir?
Doing great, Mike. Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh man, I can't call it, man. It's another day, man. I'm excited to have you on the show again, man. We have built a rapport since the first time you were on the show, man, and I'm happy to have you back again to talk more Chicago Cubs, right?
Yes, sir. Hey, first, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your trip with the wife, and did your child come with you, or just you and the wife?
Yeah. So yeah, I took a vacation a couple weeks back and took both my boys and my wife. We went to Orlando, hopped on a cruise, and then after that we also went to Disney World too, and it was a pretty cool time, man. Honestly, I could have did Disney World the whole time, Rich, but the cruise was nice too. It was a nice little getaway, a nice little break from everything, and I feel refreshed, revived, and ready for Cubs baseball, man. I'm super excited for the season and super excited for this week, man. This is a big week for the channel, man. We got another big host coming up later this week, soon to be revealed to each and every last one of you. But again, like I said, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Cubs baseball. Have you watched or listened to any spring training so far?
Couple innings, I have not a whole lot, but a couple innings, yeah.
What
All
have you
young players are playing. None of the real big names are playing. So,
what have you thought so far?
we got some good prospects. That Rojas character, Rojas Jefferson.
Yeah,
he's going to be a stud, I think, in another couple of years. I mean, he looks good. Looks really good.
He is right now probably one of the biggest bright spots for the Chicago Cubs. Rojas has shown his ability to be able to not only have that great plate presence, he also has turned around and shown that he can also drive the ball. He has great defense. He's somebody that the Chicago Cubs hit it big when they got him. He could be a piece of this future should things go awry or go south with Dansby Swanson. I mean, because like I said, he's just able to do so much in the game and affect the game in many different ways. So he's somebody that I definitely have had my eyes on. Is there anybody else you've had your eyes on?
Wiggins for sure. I think he's ready right now. We were talking earlier. I think he's ready to go, but sometimes you got to wait your turn, but sometimes you got to just say go with the kids.
Yeah, and you know what? That's something I feel like you've held true to, throughout this whole time of us talking about the Chicago Cubs and really trying to divulge what this season was going to look like. You've been very high on let the kids play, let the kids show you what they can do. Where meanwhile, I've sat on the other side of, hey, you want to get some established players in there too that are proven and can take you, further. Or at least have been there before, because the kids don't know what they don't know, and if you've never been there before, that was always my argument with things. But this kid,
hence
Jefferson Rojas,
the Bregman signing, you really, yeah. that you hit it on the head with that. We needed
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, and like I said, Alex Bregman is one of those guys that you've just seen just come in and immediately make an impact on this team. When I did the episode with Cody Del Mundo last week, and we were talking about it, and we were just talking about the Bregman effect and how him coming to the Cubs just automatically just changes things for this team. And again, he's just somebody that even Bleacher Report and all the other MLB reports said that he was rated the number one piece you could not replace. And so, like I said, I mean, just from that aspect, he's a very important part of what the Chicago Cubs are going to do for the next 5 years. And he's pumped to be here, man.
Definitely. Yeah, he's like another coach. So he helps young guys out, like Pete Crow Armstrong, and it'll definitely help.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he is somebody that you love to see be a part of this organization and help this organization. But Rich, you have been big on the kids, but the Cubs went out and they did something that was really weird, I think, and I feel like a lot of people weren't really expecting them to do that. But the Chicago Cubs went out and they signed Michael Conforto. What was your thoughts when the Chicago Cubs did that?
It was news to me. I thought it was one of those fake things that they put up every day about us getting this guy. And then when I heard it was true, I was like, why would they go after this guy instead of going after like Michael Andahar, or what was the other guy? I was telling Bednar, or was it his last name Bednar, the outfielder? Yep. Why wouldn't you get somebody with a little more instead they went after this guy. He's had a couple bad years in a row now. He's only 32, I guess, but
yep, just turned 33. Yep.
Yeah, and then they were saying something about they needed some players to play this week because of a lot of players are going to be gone for the baseball classic.
Baseball classic. Yep.
Yeah.
Which we will have coverage on this channel of the baseball classic, and we'll be checking in and seeing how each of our Cubs players are performing during the baseball classic on baseball's biggest stage outside of the World Series, obviously. So looking forward to that. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Hey, Mike, what's your feeling on Shota? It looks like, I guess he was hurt. That's why his rib cage or whatever, right, last year? Or no, it's hamstrings.
Well, it was a hamstring issue, a lingering hamstring issue for Shota Imanaga. And like I said, for me, I was actually very impressed. Shota pitched on Tuesday for the Chicago Cubs, and his fastball was around 93, 94, 95, 96 even. So those are very good signs for Shota Imanaga if his fastball is going to be hitting those types of ranges. I mean, those are very, very good velocity numbers that you want to see from somebody who had a fastball that mirrored around 90 to 91, 92. So it looks like he's healthy. It also looks like he has tinkered with a couple of things to maybe be able to throw harder, throw faster, and maybe induce more swing and miss, kind of like he did mirroring his first season with the Chicago Cubs.
Definitely. I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that we definitely want to make sure that we keep an eye on. But yeah, back to Michael Conforto. So we're looking at him. He's a free agent outfielder that was playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers last, but he got so bad with the Dodgers that he didn't even make it. He didn't even make the playoff squad. Like, he wasn't even a part of the playoff roster. So again, this is one of those head scratching type of moves, when you look at it, Rich, and you ask yourself, okay, why would the Chicago Cubs go ahead and do something like this? And basically, Conforto is somebody who turns 33. He only hit 199 for the Los Angeles Dodgers last season. And again, he's somebody that's on a prove-it deal. He's another prove-it piece for the Chicago Cubs, somebody that got signed to a minor league contract with an invite to spring training. So he could very well find himself on the iCubs to start the season. And should somebody go down or somebody get injured, he could very well be a piece that gets called up to the majors as a bench piece, somebody that can come in and DH, somebody that can hit well against lefties. So yeah, he is a piece like that. So I mean, it makes sense in a way, but kind of to what you were saying. Go ahead. What were your thoughts?
I was just going to say, the Jaguar. Why don't they give the kid a chance out there in the outfield and see what we got with the guy? I mean, what is he?
Yeah.
23, 24 now.
Yeah.
If you're not going to play him, you're not going to give him a chance. Put him in a deal and get somebody in here. Then, if you're not going to have faith in this guy,
Yeah, and you've stayed with that same thought process pretty much the whole time. Of listen, if you aren't going to play these young prospects that have been in our AAA system for 3 or 4 years now, then it's time to move on from them. Especially going to keep bringing in these older guys. Now, again, I full on suspect Kevin Alcantara to make the actual team. If it came down to who's going to make it, Michael Conforto or Kevin Alcantara, I would suspect the Chicago Cubs and Craig Counsell would put Kevin Alcantara over Michael Conforto, even though Michael Conforto is somebody that has had success. But I mean, this leads to the big question and the title of our pod: can you trust the young guys? Can you trust the young guys? And like I said, we're looking at the young guys. When we talk about the young guys, we're talking about Moises Ballesteros. We're talking about Jackson Wiggins. We're talking about Kevin Alcantara. And we're talking about, we're talking about these guys, these young pieces, these young players. You're going to look at Kate Horton this year. This will be his first full season pitching as a starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Can you trust these young players to come through this season for the Cubs? And, is Jed nervous about it? Out of all the players that I just named, Rich, who do you have the most faith in? Moises Ballesteros, Jackson Wiggins, Kevin Alcantara. I keep wanting to put link PCA with them, but not really. Matt Shaw.
Triantos. You're forgetting Triantos, I think. Triantos.
I
believe he would be a great solid piece on the bench. He can steal a lot of bases, come in late to steal. He could play a couple different positions. I think he should be on the team. Give him a try as well. I mean, look at when the Cubs won in 2016, Mike. Who was their shortstop? Yeah. Who was their shortstop?
It was Addison Russell.
How old was he?
Addison Russell was like 22, 23 at that time.
Correct. See, you got to let some of the young kids play like that. I mean,
yeah.
We got Dansby right now, but yeah,
right. But and to your credit with that, I actually like what you said there. To your credit with that, Dansby actually should take a step back, and allow some of these younger kids to maybe get a little bit of shine. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't move Nico over to short. I don't see why you couldn't put Matt Shaw in a second. I don't see why you couldn't give James Triantos an opportunity for some of these games and things like that. Dansby has prided himself on playing the full season for as long as he's been a major leaguer, which is fine and very, very commendable. But at the same time, he's played through a lot of injuries that he never actually went and sought help for. And that in turn has hurt his hitting ability a lot of times. I think this season, I really do. I think this season, him and Craig need to have an understanding. Like, Dansby, if you get banged up, we got to sit you. We got to sit you. And the same goes for Alex Bregman. And the same goes for, like I said, Nico Horner, Michael Bush, anybody else. Ian Happ
definitely needs some banged up.
Yeah. Take a blow. We got young kids that we can put in and use the young kids, for some of these games to get us through the long grind of the season. I look back to the blueprint of 2016. You had a young Kyle Schwarber still figuring out his way. Even though he got injured early on in the season and then came back when it was time to make the run in the playoffs. He came back in time to play the World Series. But you look at him, you look at a young Chris Bryant, a young Javi Baez, a young Addison Russell, like I said, and then you pepper in, Anthony Rizzo, who had been there for a while. You pepper in Grandpa Rossi, you pepper in, like I said, a Ben Zorbist and pieces like that. You pepper in a Dexter Fowler, a Jason Hayward, more, seasoned guys. But your young guys are really the ones that did a lot of the damage. Think about Wilson Contreras. His first big major league year, and he's called in as catcher to catch for the Chicago Cubs in one of those games, and split time with Grandpa Rossi. I mean, there's no way you can ask for a better foundation to be built than that.
Right. What do you think of the catcher position for the Cubs?
We've talked about this, and I know we look at the catcher position and we say to ourselves, okay, you have a piece in Carson Kelly that is a good, reliable piece. He's a good, reliable arm, a good, reliable guy. Like I said, even though the last 2 months of the season he was almost damn near unbearable, but he started out very high. Then you also have Miguel Amaya, who, I mean, I hate to say this, I hate to get this tagline on him, but the kid's kind of injury prone. He's young, but he's injury prone. I need to see a full season out of Miguel Amaya. What do you think?
Definitely. He needs to catch probably, I'd say, about 90 games at least this year. And then you give Kelly the other, 60, 70 games or so, I think, or maybe 100 and then 62 to Kelly. Sure. Or sprinkle in Ballesteros a little bit, give him 10 games, see how he does. I mean, everybody's saying he can't catch. Well, you drafted him as a catcher, didn't you? So let's see what he has. I mean,
they drafted him for his bat. Let's just be clear. They drafted him for his bat, but again, position wise, he's a catcher. But with that DH role, like I said, it's a blessing in disguise, because literally you just ask him to go up there and hit. He don't have to play a defensive role. Although Craig Counsell did say that he would get time at the catcher position. Probably he would catch and maybe a little bit of first base this year.
You can sprinkle him in like the 6th, 7th inning when you're blowing a team out, or getting killed, one of the two, and you bring him in there 6th, 7th inning, let him catch a few innings, and give your catcher some rest that way as well.
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, man. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm scratching my head on this Michael Conforto thing, but again, I just think that he should be a bench piece, if nothing else. But at the most, a bench piece, maybe some DH. He can play outfield, but the outfield has a logjam right now. And again, you got Kevin Alcantara waiting in the wings, and Matt Shaw playing pretty much everywhere. Matt Shaw's playing, second base, shortstop, third base, right field, left field, and can play center field. So again, you're looking at this and saying, like, a lot of guys are going to get rest. Matt Shaw's still going to get a lot of his at-bats. I know a lot of people were worried about that. Was he going to get his ABs? Was he going to get his chance, his opportunity for the Chicago Cubs? But real talk, he's going to see a lot of playing time. He might mess around and still be an everyday player for the most part, with just the fact that he can play everywhere. He can play every position,
Right. I think McCormick probably will make the team. I like that pickup.
Okay.
The guy from the he was playing with the Astros. He's pretty solid.
Yeah.
He can run the bases.
That's another good pickup.
Yeah.
And again, so like I said,
I don't think Conforto has a chance. He's just there to, play and challenge some other people to make them work harder. But I don't think he's going to be on the team, to be honest with you.
Okay. We will be checking in for that. But we want you guys to join in the conversation too. We need you guys to let us know your thoughts below. What was your thoughts on the Michael Conforto signing? We had a Shota Imanaga sighting on Tuesday, and he looked damn good. And of course, the big question: why won't they let the kids play? Kevin Alcantara, James Triantos, like I said, those type of players there. Why? What does Jed feel like is lacking from the young kids? So we want you guys to jump in on that conversation also. And another thing, before we get out of here, we want to make sure that you guys join us on Chicago Cubs Central Facebook group. You do not want to miss that. You want to be a part of the Facebook group. You want to make sure that you guys get early access to episodes, as well as you get to, like I said, be a part of the Facebook group. Also, because we reached 3,000 subscribers, March 2nd. You don't want to miss it. We are going to give away a free Chicago Cubs jersey. That's right. We're giving away a free Chicago Cubs jersey on March 2nd. You must be subscribed to the podcast on YouTube as well. And you get an extra edition add-on if you are a part of the Chicago Cubs Facebook group. So again, that means you get put into the drawing board twice instead of just once if you are a part of the Chicago Cubs Facebook group. So definitely want to make sure you're a part of that. I will name that winner on March 2nd. So you don't want to miss that episode, guys. It's going to be really, really cool, really, really fun. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Rich, any last thoughts before we get out of here, man?
I appreciate you having me. This is a blast. I hope we can do it again and throughout the season, maybe a couple times. And what do you think? 92 wins this year?
92 is a solid good number. I would say probably anywhere between 90 to 92 wins, and I also think that wins you the division this year too. So we'll be in on that.
Yep, cool.
Rich, I appreciate you for being a part, man. We're gonna have you in again, and we'll probably do a couple watch-alongs together this summer, like I said, for the Chicago Cubs. So appreciate you guys. Until next time, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And as always, go Cubs, go! Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.